Hello and welcome back. So today I decided to talk about music class and accommodations that may be needed for that. One of the reasons I'm doing this is I've seen a lot of posts recently about different instruments that supposedly people with EDS cannot play. And honestly, it's a bunch of hogwash. I'm going to put that straight out right now. It's a bunch of hogwash. There is not an instrument that me or my daughter could think of at all that you could not play if you have EDS. Now, to make this even more clear, HEDS is probably the one that's going to have the most issues with playing an instrument because of the chance of their joints dislocating, things like that. If any one of them are going to be hypermobile, some of the others are able to be diagnosed through testing. The only way you can be diagnosed with HEDS is through being hypermobile, period. That's the only way right now. So, maybe that makes a difference. It doesn't. Me and my kids are all hypermobile. That's our diagnosis. So, how can I be so sure? I have one son who played the drums. I have 3 kids who have played string instruments. 4 kids. No, 3 kids. 2 of them, or all 3, played violin at one point. Actually, no, I think it was 4 kids. Anyway, one of them also played the viola. I don't know if it was the oldest or if it was one of the 3. I can't remember. My daughter plays guitar. And all of them still play, or 2 of them still play violin on a regular basis. One has played the piano with no issue. Well, I can't say with no issue. I'll get into that in a minute. The same one also plays the bassoon and the clarinet. So, wind instruments are not ones that you can say, no, they can't play. That's another one I've heard a lot of, string and wind. And kind of the drums. They've played it all. And the one kid basically loves all instruments. So, what does that mean? Does that mean just treat them like another kid? No, it doesn't. There are some considerations that need to be made. 1, they need to have access to liquids. And I'll be honest, I played the flute too. So even the flute's not out, which also means the trumpet's probably not out, bunch of those. So, period, nothing's out. But you do need access to water, especially playing a woodwind or a brass instrument. You're going to dehydrate more. It's the way it is. And especially if you're having some vertigo issues, that's going to be more likely. Having access to water or electrolytes is going to be very vital. Being able to get up and move around as needed can help alleviate some pain, things like that. Another thing, go ahead and have them try to do correct hand positioning, but let them adapt watch them. If their fingers are bending, mine don't bend as far as my kids, and you can see there's still quite a bit of bending. I have one kid who does this and his fingers almost here, And this one's also another joint that he has. So obviously for him to do this can be very, very difficult. So he's learned to, because he loved music, learned to adapt. Same with the string instruments. My daughter says she did not have to adapt the hand positioning. My son did, well, at least one of them did have to. He didn't have a choice. He also was adapting the way he was holding the bow to get the best sound from it. So, they may have to adapt some of those. Be aware of it. Don't get mad because they're not playing correct hand positioning. Talk to them about why. Maybe they would be better off doing correct hand positioning. But you may find that actually what they're doing is going to be the best option for them. So, and especially having the options of electrolytes may be something to eat. Eating's a little bit harder depending on the instrument. You can't eat if you're doing a brass, a woodwind, things like that. I get that. That's why I'm pushing the electrolyte drink, because that also gives you your salts. So, and another thing, marching band. The hours-long practices that they usually have, they can't be marching that long. That's going to be an issue. So, especially not at first. Let them work up to it. And even just period, at the beginning of the summer, or the fall, the kids, if they haven't played during the summer, are going to need to work up the strength, and it's going to take longer. Another thing, while I'm thinking about it, is they're less likely to develop calluses. Do not use, if they have a callus on their fingers, as a judge of how much they're playing. They may never develop calluses, and they may be playing 3+ hours a day. So don't use that as a judge. Basically, remember that they need to build up their strength in whatever they're doing. So I hope that helps. I know this was a little bit longer because music has a lot more things that I wanted to go in with it. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.